So yesterday, I did a live on my brand page at queenly.me. If you're not following, go ahead and do that right afterwards, or click out, click in, whatever. Hi! We are 152 strong, and we would love to have you, okay? It goes down. Hey! So yesterday I did a live on there, and I don't know what happened. It mysteriously just vanished. But I was asking for everyone to tell me what their biggest frustration is when it comes to relationships. And someone put communication, which is understandable because relationships is one of the 3 reasons why people break up, why people get divorced. It's a really big issue, but it's still been on my mind like really heavy, y'all. And so I jotted down some notes, and yeah, it's about to get real because I'm about to give you 3 mistakes that we're making in our relationships when it comes to communication. And I would suggest that you get you a little notepad too, or a little note up on whatever device. Hey girl! Just in case this vanishes again, but I am planning on saving it and posting it to IGTV and YouTube. But just in case, go ahead and get these things while they're fresh, because it's going to be good and quick, okay? So, 3 things that we are doing wrong when it comes to communication in our relationships. Okay, y'all ready? The first thing is that women expect men to communicate like we do. And because of that, men avoid doing it. I'm going to say it again. The first thing we do wrong is that women expect men to communicate like we do. And because of that, men avoid doing it. A lot of women say that the men in their life, just not even just dating, but their parent or their sibling, their friend, their boss, their co-workers. A lot of women claim that men have issues with communication when really that's not always the case. A lot of times women don't really understand that men communicate differently than women do. But a lot of women look for men to communicate similarly. And we want to automatically say, oh, you have an issue with communication. You have an issue just because it doesn't sound like what we would say, or it's done in a different way. We assume that there's an issue when really there's not. So when we do this, it makes men shut down because we're not receptive when they do communicate. We have to meet people where they are. Y'all, I'm sorry. It's just some ratchetness going on over here. You can probably hear it. And if you've done this, let's just be honest, because that's the kind of culture that I'm trying to create over at queenly.me, where we can really just be in a safe space and be honest about what our mistakes are. Because if we don't highlight our issues, then we can't fix them. They're just going to go under the surface, and we're going to keep encountering the same issues and the same people. So we have to learn how men communicate. Women are very detail oriented, okay? We want you to know everything about the whole situation, and it takes us forever to just get to the point, okay? And while we are talking, the men will just let us go as long as we want to, and they are tuning themselves out until we get to the point. And sometimes we never do. Hey, Brittany. And a lot of women assume that because we say a lot of words that we're communicating effectively, when really you could be saying a lot and saying nothing at the same time. But the thing is, you have to know your audience. So you can be talking about the very same subject to a man and a woman, but you have to present them differently in order for it to be received. So if you and your homegirl are talking about something, you can go into the details because we want to know the details. The details are important to us. You're leaving stuff out. No. So what was their facial expression when you said that? Like, we need to know everything. And what had happened earlier that day, okay? Did they on social media? What was the vibe like? Like, we need to know all the details. But with a man, you can be talking about the very same thing, but you got to get to the point. You can't go all the way around town. You got to go right to the destination and then build from there. Okay? And that kind of leads me into mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is we don't understand that men are fixers and women are feelers. And that has a big impact on how we communicate. Men are fixers and women are feelers. So I went to the YLC conference a couple of weekends ago, and I went to a single session, and I think, please forgive me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but I think his name is Steven Thurston. But I went to his session, and there was a young lady in there, and she was asking, when me and my husband get into a real conversation and the emotions are high, or we have to confront an issue, he always shuts down. Why does he always shut down? What he said was, women are spaghetti and men are waffles. It sounds crazy. Women are spaghetti and men are waffles. So women, we do zigzags, we do twists and turns, we do spirals, we can curl up into a ball, we could be a straight line, like we could just be all like this. And that's okay. But for men, they have boxes, they have compartments, and they only put things in their boxes if they know that they can conquer them. Innately, a man is created to be a fixer. A man is created to fix problems, and a woman was created to feel things. So a man will only put something in his box if he knows that he can conquer it, because not being able to solve a problem, not being able to fix an issue threatens his identity. That's what he does. That's just their biological makeup. Men are fixers and women are feelers. And a lot of times women, when we hold on to all of our feelings, that's dangerous for us, because it's like a pressure cooker, and once you turn the knob, after a while it just blows. So for women, it's healthy for us to get our feelings out, not to just keep them bottled up. We need to vent. But when we vent to a man, it kind of threatens his identity, because we're not looking for solutions. Actually, we get offended if we're trying to vent to you and you're throwing solutions at us. And it's like, why can't you just validate how I feel right now and just listen to what I'm saying? But for a man, it makes him shut down, because feelings are something that you can't fix. Okay? Situations you can fix, problems you can fix, but you can't fix feelings. You have to confront feelings and deal with them. That's why a lot of men are discouraged from feelings and being emotional, because they're like, let's just stick to the issue. Thank you. Hey, what's up? So there are two things. There's one of two ways that it can go. When a man is confronted with a highly emotional situation, person, or conversation, he's either going to snap out or he's going to shut down. You tell me which one you would rather have. And that kind of leads me into my next mistake that we're making. We don't understand that men need time to open up. Women stay open. Men need time to open up. Women stay open. So a lot of times women will come to men with a bunch of feelings, and we want a response right then. So what do you think about that? What are we going to do about this? And every pause we think means to us that it's still our turn. So if we're having a conversation with the man and we're talking and we stop talking, to us that means, okay, it's your turn. But if a man doesn't take his turn and he pauses, then we think, okay, well, you must not have nothing to say right now. I still got some more to say. And then we go and we go and we go. We have to understand that a woman, we're feelers. It takes us milliseconds to understand how we feel about a certain situation and why we feel that way. For a man, it could take him up to days. And this is not just like, this is actual statistics. It could take a man up to days to really understand what emotion he's feeling and why he's feeling it. And for us to put a bunch of stuff out there on the table and expect him to just regurgitate everything that he's feeling and thinking right in that moment, it's very, very unrealistic. And it could be overwhelming for a man. And then we go into that one of two things. Either they're snapping out or they're shutting down. So, we have to give men time. It kind of makes me think about like going on a first date. A woman will show up to the first date with a list of like these deeply emotional, like penetrating questions, but it'll scare the crap out of a man because these are a lot of times questions that they don't have the answers to because they've never really sat down and really thought these things through. And we try to get a lot of these deep emotional answers from them without building up trust and intimacy with them first. You have to be at a certain intimate level with a man in order for him to open up about certain things. And we want that right away. So we really just have to be patient with men and communicating. And we have to understand that they don't communicate like we do. And when we're communicating to them, we have to kind of meet them where they are. We can't just give them all the details. We got to be concise. We got to be to the point. And then if he needs more information, he'll ask for it. He'll ask questions to build upon it and get what he needs from the conversation. And we have to be intentional about communicating our intentions for the conversation. So if we just need to vent, then we need to let him know, like, I'm not looking for a solution. I'm not looking for you to fix this. I really just need like 2 to 5 minutes for you to really just like be here and just listen, you know? And that helps them because it does not threaten their identity. It doesn't make them feel hopeless or useless or weak because we're getting offended that they're trying to help us, which is really what they're innately created to do. Men are fixers, women are feelers. So I used to ask God all the time, why on earth would you make us so different? How could you ever think that a woman and a man could get along long enough in order to even form a relationship? And the more I was intentional about understanding men, the more I realized that God knew what he was doing. In the Garden of Eden, the differences between man and woman actually worked in harmony. But when the fall happened, it kind of put us against each other and caused division. So now, because of our humanity and because of our sin, we are able to see what's wrong first. We're able to see what we're lacking first, instead of, I guess, using that to our advantage. But if we could stop trying to change each other, men and women, and how we communicate, if we stop trying to get them to communicate like us, and if they could just bear with us and be a little more patient, could you imagine if we used our differences in order to make powerful things happen, in order to really make an impact? The differences were never meant to divide us. That was our doing. So we really have to look at our differences as a plus, because it makes us the perfect team. If we're detail oriented and they're able to see the bigger picture, then that makes us the perfect team. Yeah, I just wanted to throw those 3 things out there. I'm going to try to save this video and put it up elsewhere, but I hope it helped, and not just in your dating life, but with your parents, with your boss, with your coworkers, with your friends, with your siblings, with strangers. You can literally use it anywhere. So anyways, I hope you enjoy your weekend. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.